Hey, this is Matt O'Leary, and this is What I'm Listening To, where I give some music recommendations of my favorite songs from some of my favorite albums of typically a month, but this time I'm going to do the entirety of spring. So any music released between the months of March, April, and May will be covered here. Since there is so much of it, so many good albums released between this time, I'm going to do a part 2 video as well where I give sort of the second half of this music, but that will be more on the mellow side, some of the chill vibes from these 3 months. So if you're into that, go check that out. There really was a ton of good music from this time. I have a feeling that some of my favorite albums of the year will be from this spring, so without further ado, here we go. First off is Into It Over Its new album Standards. This is the project from Evan Weiss, who's just all over the place within alt-rock and emo rock, sort of that sound of the early 2000s, but brought back. He's done a lot of stuff in the past 5-6 years, like producing albums, a lot of side projects, and a lot of Into It Over It albums. So this sound is really coming back, and he's at the forefront of that. The Ben Gibbard sound-alike recorded this whole album to analog tape, and it really outshines all of his past work in both warmth and construction. The song Required Reading sets up with these dreamscape pianos and synths before galloping into an infectious chug. I love all those harmonized hammer-on guitar riffs. It really reminds me of something out of sort of the clean tone playbook of a band like Toe. I don't really cover a ton of hip-hop, but next is a hip-hop record, the self-titled album from the band Coy Child, which is really a conglomerate of groups that mixes sort of this snarky, puppy, low-end, groovy, jazzy bass sound with hip-hop and rap. This is another band out of the fertile soil of Western Australia, which really seems to be a hub for music right now, where it's really kind of like Seattle in the grunge days, allowed to fester and become, something without the media jumping on it too soon. I have a feeling that this band is just gonna explode pretty soon. And it really helps that this album was recorded by Kevin Parker, who really couldn't be more in the center of the public eye, at least in alternative music right now. Next is another hip-hop record from a guy who really just can't be ignored right now. It's Kendrick Lamar with his album Untitled, Unmastered, which is really a follow-up and sort of has a demo-ish feel or a B-sides feel to Pimp a Butterfly, of course. And it's that CeeLo song. As a real hip-hop noob, it's this guy's just unique blend of jazz and soul and just profound flow that has me interested. I'm totally a sucker for that CeeLo verse too, which is just butter. I mean, as much crap as this guy puts out, he's still got, in my opinion, one of the best soul and R&B voices in the modern era. The next album is possibly my favorite of the year so far. Kieran Leonard, Grapefruit. Kieran Leonard plays some experimental rock from the UK. He just adds more layers to one song than most do on the whole disc. I don't know how to get anyone into this album just because I think it is going to take so many listens just to sort of wrap your head around. Plus, it's going to be way out of the comfort zone, I think, of some people. But this absolutely is just an emotional release for me, not only listening, but I'm sure for him playing. There are moments that just sound so messy and tangled and emotional and jumbled, but at the same moment precise and exact and just massive. I mean, geez, if I'm going to live up to someone's standard in writing music for myself, I think this would be it. Just an amazing album. If I have to give 2 songs that I think might be good as kind of an entryway, it would be Caiaphas and Fetters, and then Don't Make Friends with Good People. 2 really mathy songs with a lot going on, but they're a little more concise and I think digestible. And there's a little spoken word section from this girl at the end of one of the tracks. I think it's Caiaphas and Fetters. Reader Rabbit 2. Next is another pretty intriguing album cover, but a great album from the blues rock Texans White Denim. It's Stiff. This band is going back to the denim jackets, back to the basics of Southern rock with this one. The whole album is pretty straightforward, pretty simple, pretty direct, but this last song, Thank You, introduces some jazz flair and some of the most progressive playing that I've heard from this band. This song is very prog rock mixed with a Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young sound. It's got these psychedelic synths and a very soulful Otis Redding section. This is hands down my favorite sound from the band. If they could find a way to replicate this going forward, I'd be an even bigger fan. And all in a simple message of gratitude. Next is a Danish instrumental psych rock band Causa with their 8th album. I'm really starting to like El Paraiso Records. It's another fantastic release from them. Next we get a little bit funkier with the song Town and Country from Bibio's new album A Mineral Love. Bibio is an English producer who I really have always liked a lot for his mix of indie folk and electronic sounds. A Mineral Love is stepping away from some of the more experimental elements of his music and really showcasing the more beautiful, harmonically rich side of Bibio. These really are some just heavenly tracks. This is really just a feel-good tune that could be used as a 70s sitcom theme. Next we got the song Wagon. This is from a self-released album called In Portuguese by the band Hello Ocho. This one's really far out there. It's got that eccentric and lazy psych sound, but it's definitely unrestrained and ever-changing. It's not a cohesive listen at all, but surrender to the kaleidoscopic ins and outs and it'll be a fun ride. Wagon is unique in that it uses repetition to its advantage with this runaway bass line anchoring everything. And the hook of the song is almost identical in both notes and in timbre to Crystallized by Melody's Echo Chamber. It turns out there are a lot of foreign bands in this playlist. The next band could be on Top Shelf Records. It's a math rock band, a girl band from Japan called Tricot. The song that's totally out of this world is Setsuyakuka. It's a girl band that's just shredding these intricate lines. The drums are hammering. The performances are on point. The vocals are just shrieking. The energy is top notch. Alright, the second to last song I'm going to mention is on an album I reviewed by Yeasayer pretty recently. It's called Dead Sea Scrolls. It's been in my playlist for quite a while. And finally is yet another foreign band from Switzerland called, oh geez, I'm going to need some help on this one. It's Klaus, Johann, Grobe. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Okay, the song is Ein Guter Tag from the album, and this is the debut album. Another debut album, just, you'll figure it out. So we got these German lyrics with this Swiss band, and they definitely have all the elements in place of any great neo-psych group. I'd love to see them experiment a little more going forward, but at the moment the songs and the production are there. I love the bass tone here that just carries the whole song, and also these laser beam synths that enter. They've got a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see where they go if they don't fall into that trap of being just another one of these kind of revivalist bands. Gotta lead you in some deep breathing after that. Alright, that's all I got. Those are all the albums, all the songs that captured me, moved me from the last 3 months. Let me know in the comments if any of them did the same for you. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure to check out part 2, and as always, thank you so much for watching.